In the last video, we've learned how to use calculated fields to generate some relevant information such as a pump runtime. In this lecture, we're going to add a pie chart with the percentage of time that each pump ran over the course of the last period. So before we begin, we're first going to need to work on the labels or categories for a pie chart to display. So let's head over to Google Sheets, and I've already created my sheet. I've named it Pie Chart Labels. I've added a header named Category, and I've added all of my labels. So I needed Pump 1, Pump 2, and idle for when none of the pumps are running. So now let's go back into the report. Let's add a page and rename the page. I'm going to rename it pie chart, and click on add data, click on Google Sheet, and we're going to try and find our sheet. So I have my pie chart labels here. We're going to select sheet 1, which is fine. We want to use first row as headers because the first row contained category, which was the header. Click on add to report, and let's add a pie chart. So we now have a pie chart and we have 3 categories. And right now the selected metric is the record count. So since every category makes up for 1/3 of the total count, each category has a value of 33.3%. But that's not what we want to display. So now let's use a new functionality. Let's blend in the category dataset with our data source that we've used for our pump runtime calculations. So to do this, instead of clicking on edit data source here, we're going to click on blend data here. So now the blend data configuration panel has just opened, and I can already see my current data source, which is the data from the Google Sheet with my categories. So now I would like to blend in my other data source. So we're going to click on add a table, and I'm going to select the data source that we've used previously. So that was pump runtime logs. So now Data Studio is complaining that I need to set my join keys, and it says that it is missing. So we don't really want to join any keys in this case, so I can just remove the join keys in the first table. And then I can add the fields that I'm going to need. So let's go ahead and add port 1 ratio, port 3 ratio, and add the category as a dimension. Click on save. And let's configure a pie chart. So now I can see that I have all kinds of available fields from both of my data sources. So I'm going to click on metric here and click on create field. We're going to name this pump runtime percentage. Now let's enter our formula. We're going to use a case statement. Whoops. Case like this. So when category equals to pump 1, then I want you to return my port 1 ratio. When category equals to pump 3, then I want you to return port 3 ratio. Else I wanted to return 1 minus port 1 ratio minus port 3 ratio. And then I need to end my case with n. So there you go. The formula is valid. So you can click on apply. And there. We have a pie chart now indicating that over the last 27 days, pump 1 ran for 24% of the time, pump 2 ran 38% of the time, and the rest of the time nothing was running. Perfect. So this is really starting to look good. So the last information that I'd like to display in my report is that I would like to see when each pump was triggered. So in the next lesson, we're going to continue from where we've left off, and we're going to add a line chart.